Alright, so today it looks like not one of these couples is making it off this island alive. So last night, Ed, Jovi and Asuelu went to the strip club to take Asuelu's mind off the fact that Kalani didn't come home the night before. Although Ed asked Liz's permission to go, he broke his promise that he would look but not touch by motorboating one stripper and grabbing the butt of another. Also, whilst Ed was asking for permission, Jovi told Liz not to tell the other girls, but he was on speakerphone and Yara heard him. So, with Asuelu's relationship right on the brink, Ed betraying Liz and Jovi in the doghouse, it looks like not one of these couples is making it to the end of the series in one piece. First up, Ed and Liz are catching up about the previous night's events, and Liz wants to know how he got on in the strip club.
At one point, this lady, she must have been like 7'5", and accidentally, her boobs ended up in my face.
He says that like he wasn't loving every second of it. And also, he conveniently left out the fact that he said, "I love you" to the stripper, literally straight after. He then does a demonstration to keep things lighthearted, and surprisingly, Liz just laughs it off.
Like this, and then at one point she just pulls my head forward. And she made me motorboat her.
Okay, I'm not gonna hold it against you. You told me.
I feel like her not seeing the full story, which also included him grabbing another stripper by the butt with both hands, is at least partly why she's able to shrug this off so easily. But maybe she also just can't be bothered with the drama. Either way, Ed getting away with it for now at least is worrying because it's only going to lead to him pushing the boundaries even further next time. Well, with Liz finding out part of the story and reacting well, Ed has gone back to thinking that they're the number one couple.
We have the strongest possibility of making it.
Touchy subject.
Okay, let's go.
They have the best chance of making it, as if that's any kind of achievement up against a couple where one of them is addicted to strip clubs, and a couple where both of them have cheated on each other a combined total of at least 13 times. And that is also assuming that Liz isn't going to react further when she finds out the full story. Well, anyway, today, once again, rather than doing any actual therapy or working on their relationships, the couples are off for yet another break away from their luxury resort. And this time, they're going out to sea.
Relax, have a good time. Take in the water. The centipedes, or what are they called? Manatees. What are they? Manatees.
First of all, Ed is an idiot, but second of all, how does he not know what they're called when they're the species that he's most closely related to? I know going back 60 million years or so, we've all got a common ancestor with them, but there is no way that Ed is anything more than 5 generations away. Well, as the guys set sail, they realise that Asuelu and Kalani aren't with them. Back at the resort, Kalani has requested an emergency meeting with Asuelu and a couple of the therapists to discuss recent events. So they sit down and Kalani tells Asuelu that she spent the night with Dallas and that they didn't just talk.
We ended up doing other things.
Take some deep breaths.
Asuelu is going through it, but again, it just is hard to feel sorry for him given he's cheated himself. Kalani then says that things are just too hard with Asuelu, that she has to fight for an ounce of kindness or love or affection, and she just doesn't have to do that with Dallas. She does acknowledge Asuelu's recent change in behaviour, but it just isn't enough for her.
I know you're trying really hard, but I feel like you started trying and it's too late now.
They then speak about Dallas again, and Kalani justifies the cheating by saying that she caught Asuelu deleting messages. But Asuelu responds saying that he was just routinely clearing out his inbox and pleads his innocence. Either way though, I just don't know how much it changes. She could have spoken to Asuelu before jumping to conclusions, but I feel like she was just waiting for an excuse to open things up again with Dallas, and this was just her seizing one.
Like you want divorce with me? Yes?
Take your time, Asuelu.
It just sucks that there was false hope for him, like he came on the show to repair his relationship, and he really did try. But whatever he did was never going to be enough. Her mind has been checked out and with Dallas since the beginning, though given how long she's been fighting, it's not surprising that she's reached the end of her tether.
I've been fighting for almost 7 years to make this work. I just don't want to fucking do it anymore.
So it seems like the curtain's closed, but Asuelu's still holding on hope, that they can get back on track and leave this thing together. He tells Kalani that he's a different person now and that he's ready to give it his all. And in some agreement, the therapists tell Kalani to not rush into any major decision with a few days left on the island. They tell her to just focus on co-parenting with Asuelu until it's time to leave and just see what happens. Well, as the tension comes to an end here, back on the boat, it's just getting started.
Jovi tell me that y'all don't behave, y'all touch everybody, and Jovi was the only one who was an angel, innocent, and just y'all been bad.
Weirdly, Liz interrupts here and says that she isn't going to listen to any criticism of Ed until Jovi explains how he had the nerve to ask them to lie for him. But before he has a chance to say anything, Angela then butts in and says that she's annoyed at Ed and Jovi for showing Michael the strippers on FaceTime. Though Michael sent Angela screenshots of his call log showing that he didn't stick around to look and hung up pretty much straight away, and Jovi backs him up.
He was like, Jovi, I don't want to be here. Like, he respected you enough to say he didn't want to be in
I wish you respect me that much too.
Oh, burn! What?
You can see Ed starting to antagonize Jovi, but Jovi just goes off on a weird monologue about how the whole stripper thing isn't a big deal, and that there's just a cultural difference that means that he and Yara have different attitudes to sex, as if the issue is the strippers and not the fact that he lies about going to see them. But Ed, sick of the attention being entirely on Jovi, pipes up to drop Jovi in it even more.
So, Yara, I have a question for you. Can you ask Jovi who he was texting last night?
Who you think? What?
Some stripper in Jamaica.
Are you serious?
Even if the producers are the ones that told him to bring this up, he was enjoying every second of it. So Yara turns to Jovi and asks him why he would do that when he's married, and says that if he wants to have fun with the strippers, he should just go off and marry one. In response, Jovi downplays it all again, saying that he just wanted to have a good time with the boys, but Yara is having none of it.
You want to have fun with the stripper?
I want to have fun with the guys, and that's all. I'm sorry.
Thoroughly deserved, although I don't know where that leaves the boat ride for the rest of the day. You know, I bet the reason the producers made all of this happen on a boat is because there's literally nowhere to go. They either sort their problems out or it escalates, and there's no prizes for guessing which way this one goes.
Ed, that was pretty fucked up.
Dude, you tried to get me to lie to my wife, and your whole point was to try to take me down.
You fucking took me down pretty hard just there.
That was not my intention.
It so was his intention, wasn't it? I mean, he literally just said that it was revenge for him trying to get him to lie to his wife, assumedly by proposing they go to the strip club without telling the girls first. But then he also goes on to say in the interviews that Jovi had it coming for telling Yara about him touching the strippers. Annoyingly though, before things could get heated between them, Yara comes back, demanding to see the messages.
Can I have your phone, Jovi?
Stop. It's over. Okay?
Do this to me.
Stop. You threw a drink in my face. Just please don't even get near me right now.
No, I want to see it.
He definitely has more to hide, doesn't he? Yara then goes off on another rant at him, telling him to go marry a stripper if he loves them so much, and saying that she doesn't know what she doesn't give him that strippers do, before storming off to the front of the boat. Then, Jovi directs his attention at Ed, saying that it was unnecessary to bring the whole thing up like this, and Ed claps back with an absolutely insane response.
Why don't you explain to your daughter where you were? Why don't you tell your daughter about your stripper friend?
Bring my daughter into this fucking mess. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm just saying, dude.
I will punch you in the fucking face if you bring up my daughter.
Ridiculously unnecessary from Ed. And once again, Liz has to launch herself in between him and the person he's antagonizing. He is lucky as well. I genuinely think that if Liz wasn't there, Jovi would have knocked him out and thrown him overboard like an unwanted blobfish caught in the net.
Jovi, sit the fuck down.
You bring my fucking daughter into this? This your ass, Ed.
Bring it on.
I will fuck you up.
Jovi, head.
I love how they brought security guards because of the absolute inevitability that this was all going to descend into this degeneracy. Well, just like when he called Kelly a bitch one too many times, everyone once again turns their focus onto Ed for taking things too far. He tries preaching to worm his way out of things, but Liz is sick of it.
Just don't say another word, please.
Maybe he needs to realize he's hurting you.
I get it.
Please.
So now Liz storms off and says that Ed's lucky she stepped in and that he doesn't know when to shut his mouth. She also starts getting emotional, realising she's willing to jump in front of Ed to protect him, but that he didn't do the same for her with Angela.
Don't really bring the daughter into the mix. You can say whatever you want about Jovi. He can be a fucking jerk, but just don't bring the child, okay?
I'm sorry.
Once again, it's just too little, too late. You know, Ed really needs to learn to control himself and to think before speaking, because he digs himself a hole that he's far too short and way too unathletic to climb out of. Well, whilst all of this is going on, Kalani decides to check in with Asuelu. She tells him that she wants to give him time to process things, but that she also wants him to know straight up how she's feeling.
I do think that it would be best if we just right away divorce.
She then asks him what he wants, and he just silently nods his head. I think he's realised now that there really is no turning back. This was their last resort, and it just wasn't enough. Whether proper therapy and keeping Dallas out of the scene might have helped them, who knows? But for now at least, it looks like it's over for good.
The sooner we get divorced, the better for the kids. There's just nothing more that can be done. Like, I've given up.
The main reason she stayed with Asuelu all this time was for her kids, so now that she's decided that leaving is what's best for them, it's hard to see anything changing her mind. Unfortunately, back on the boat, things aren't looking any less bleak. The sun is going down, but the emotions are going nowhere. In the awkward silence, Ed goes up to Liz trying to be all cute to redeem himself, but Liz is having none of it.
You put me in an unsafe situation because you don't know when to shut up.
Maybe you're learning something.
I don't want small kisses right now, baby. Like,
you know that's wisdom.
The absolute look of disgust. There is no way that she didn't get the ick from that. Something's telling me that getting splashed by the waves is the last time Liz is going to get wet for a very long time. Well, unsurprisingly, no more bridges are rebuilt. And so before the boat is even docked, Jovi hops off onto the walkway and storms off. He says that he knows he was in the wrong, but he feels like everyone attacked him disproportionately, so he says he needs time to cool off and clear his head. Unfortunately though, that just leaves Yara confused and heartbroken, trying to figure out why strippers mean more to him than his marriage does.
Jovi always been telling me that if I will not be looking good, he will not be with me, so makes sense.
Once again, Yara deserves so much better. And where does Jovi get the confidence to talk like this? If he thinks he is ever going to get a girl better than Yara, he's deluding himself. Literally the only way any woman anywhere near Yara's level will ever give him an ounce of attention is if he's paying for it. Well, on the other side of the hotel, tensions are just as high between Ed and Liz, but they at least are trying to talk things through.
Babe, I'm sorry I didn't stop. I didn't mean to disrespect you, but he kept coming at me.
Clearly, you're not ready to apologize then if you're making an excuse.
Correct, and good on her for calling him out for it. Weirdly though, rather than acknowledging that he's making excuses and just apologising, he starts telling Liz that he doesn't want her putting herself in danger, which to him I'm sure sounds like he's masking the deflection with a caring attitude, but Liz sees straight through it. She says she can't help defending him because she's acting on impulse, and that he should be the one not letting situations escalate to the point where she feels she needs to step in.
You should not have interjected yourself into the situation.
How am I not supposed to not do that?
I don't know. Control?
This is actually disgusting to listen to. He insults Jovi, takes it so far that he physically confronts him. Liz jumps in to protect him even though he's in the wrong, and now he's telling Liz that she needs to control herself. I am losing my mind just listening to this, and I'm not even the one being manipulated.
I appreciate you standing in for your man.
You're not sorry.
But it made me look weak. It made me look like I can't defend myself.
You can't defend yourself, Ed. You're 3'4" and have the agility of a morbidly obese sloth. If it was just you and Jovi on that boat, you would have been tossed overboard like a lobster pot boy. And without the armbands that you were wearing earlier on in the season, it wouldn't have ended well for you.
You don't want me to be there and have your back and protect you. At least I had your fucking back and didn't have a problem trying to jump in to protect you.
I don't know why you're so
fucking problem.
I don't know why you're so upset.
Maybe because you keep interrupting her and you're not actually listening to what she's saying. To make it even worse, he then says that he's even more annoyed at the fact that she's willing to stick up for him physically, but not emotionally. Which first of all is wildly irrelevant, but second of all, not even true.
Fuck you, Ed.
There you go. Therapy's working, babe. That's our therapy.
He is such a little dick, isn't he? Liz says that Ed is supposed to be working on his behaviour, but this just shows that nothing's changed. He doesn't know when to shut up, he doesn't take accountability for his actions, and he doesn't know how to deal with valid constructive criticism in any kind of healthy way. And because of all of that, Liz doubts that he's going to be able to take whatever minuscule amount of progress he's made back home with him.
It definitely makes me feel like I don't want to be leaving here with him.
Once again, 1 minute everything's fine with these two, and the next they're on the verge of breaking up. Well, next up is the recommitment ceremony. All the couples gather around a fire pit, discuss their problems, and decide whether they're going to recommit to each other or whether to call it quits. So if you want to make sure you don't miss the tears, tantrum and drama as the season comes to a close, make sure you're subscribed down below. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.